How do you stop a skyscraper from swaying? Not from falling over. The tallest towers are already far stronger than any wind that hits them. The real problem is the swaying itself. In a storm, the top of a super tall tower can drift slowly back and forth, enough to leave the people inside feeling seasick. So what is really pushing on a building half a kilometer tall? Wind, a typhoon, the deep shove of an earthquake. And how do you fight a force that big without just piling on steel until the whole tower becomes impossibly heavy? The answer is hidden near the top of some of the tallest buildings on Earth. It is not thicker walls or deeper foundations. It is a single, colossal weight swinging silently in the dark, always a half-beat behind the storm. Welcome to Pocket Eureka, where big discoveries come in small doses. Today, why the world's tallest buildings are designed to sway on purpose, how a single swinging weight can cancel a skyscraper's motion, and the story of a Manhattan tower whose hidden weight almost wasn't enough to save it. To understand the weight, you first have to accept something that sounds alarming. Skyscrapers are supposed to sway. In a strong wind, the top of a super-tall tower can drift several feet to each side, slowly, back and forth. And that is not a failure. That is the design. Here is why. A very tall building cannot simply be made stiff enough to ignore the wind. The forces are too large, and a perfectly rigid tower would have to be impossibly heavy. So engineers do what a tree does in a breeze. They let the building bend and flex, absorbing the wind instead of meeting it head-on, which flips the whole problem around. Near the top of a modern skyscraper, the real enemy is not collapse. The structure is far stronger than the storm. The enemy is comfort. A swaying building doesn't feel like a gentle rock to the people inside. It feels like a queasy, seasick drift. Water slides in a glass. Doors swing on their own. On the worst days, without help, the highest floors would be almost unusable. So the thing engineers actually have to defeat is not the motion of the building. It is your ability to feel it. That is where the hidden weight comes in. And the most famous one of all is impossible to forget once you have seen it. Near the top of Taipei 101 in Taiwan hangs a giant golden ball. 660 tons of steel, 5.5 meters across, 41 plates welded into a single sphere, suspended on long cables between the upper floors. Tourists ride up just to stand beside it. When a typhoon pushes the building one way, the tower begins to lean, but the ball, hanging free, is slow. It lags behind, and by the time the tower swings back, the ball is still traveling the other way. It pulls against the building at exactly the wrong moment for the storm. Engineers call it a tuned mass damper, and the word tuned is the important part. The weight is set up to swing at the same natural rhythm as the building itself. The very beat the wind is trying to push. Matched like that, the weight always moves out of step with the tower, cancelling the sway and bleeding the building's dangerous energy away as gentle heat. In Taipei 101, that giant pendulum cuts the tower's sway by up to 40%. The typhoon still comes, you just stop feeling it. And once you know to look for these hidden weights, you find them holding the tallest structures on Earth steady. A short flight away, in Shanghai, sits the current champion. Near the top of the Shanghai tower hangs a weight of 1,000 tons, the heaviest building damper in the world. But this one, the pendulum swings above a bed of copper, studded with more than 1,000 powerful magnets, and as it moves is electric currents that push back on it with an invisible magnetic force. 1,000-ton weight braked by magnetism with almost nothing to wear out. These weights are not only in skyscrapers. Slender steel chimneys hide them. Wind turbines carry them up inside their tower. And one of the most famous cases was not a tower at all. It was a bridge you could walk across. When London opened the Millennium Bridge in the year 2000, 90,000 people crossed it on the first day, and it began to sway sideways under their feet. Here is the strange part. The swaying made people fall into step, and people falling into step made the swaying worse. Every footstep pushed at the bridge's rhythm, and the crowd, without meaning to, was pumping it like a child pumps a swing. Engineers named it synchronous lateral excitation. They closed the bridge 2 days later, and to cure it they bolted dozens of dampers underneath, including 52 tuned masses, until the feedback loop was broken. It has stood quiet ever since. So the hidden weight can feel like magic, but it is a comfort device, not a rescue. And to see why that difference can be deadly, go back to Manhattan, to one of the very first skyscrapers ever built around one. In the 1970s, the Citicorp Center rose on 4 giant stilts above a corner of Midtown, with a 400-ton block of concrete near its roof sliding on a thin film of oil, a tuned mass damper, there to keep the slender tower comfortable in the wind. Then, after the building was finished and full of people, its own structural engineer, William Lemercier, went back through the numbers and found something wrong. The tower had been checked for winds hitting it square on the face. But winds striking the corner loaded its joints far harder, and during construction, some crucial joints had been quietly bolted together instead of welded, making them weaker still. Put those together, and a strong enough storm from the wrong direction could tear the building apart. And the tuned mass damper? It made the odds look better than they truly were, but only while it had power. In a hurricane, the electricity could fail, the great weight would freeze in place, and the last margin of safety would vanish. By one estimate, that dropped the tower to roughly a 1 in 16 chance of failing in any given year. So, quietly, they fixed it. Through the late summer of 1978, welders slipped in after the offices emptied each night and laid steel plates over the weak joints until dawn, while most of the city slept and never knew. Halfway through the work, a hurricane, Ella, turned toward New York, with the repair only partly done. It swung back out to sea. By October, the tower was stronger than it should ever have needed to be, and the weight on the roof went back to its real job, not holding the building up, but keeping it comfortable. That is the quiet deal the tallest buildings make. They do not defeat the wind, they agree to move with it, and then hide a great swinging weight to take the motion off your hands. So the next time you are near the top of a tower on a windy day and feel absolutely nothing, remember that the stillness is not the building being strong. Somewhere above you, a weight the size of a house is swinging a half beat behind the storm, doing the moving so you don't have to. That's today's Pocket Eureka. Subscribe and keep your curiosity switched on.